Hey, what's up everybody? This is Damron. I'm playing Gears 5. This is part of my Escape series on Master difficulty. This is the last mission in Operation 3, The Corruption. This one's not too bad. It is a longer escape map, but the difficulty's not too bad if you know what to do. So let's look at the modifiers that we're going to have in this map. The first one's going to be poison rejects. When a reject dies, it's going to leave a pool of poison back in its wake, so you can't stand in that. Your ultimates are going to take longer to recharge. Also, rejects will cloak if they are aware of you. Our ammo starvation's on, so you're getting less ammo, and we got some usual suspects: more health, more lethal, and Iron Man. So let's jump right into this. We are going to roll with Keegan, we're going to roll with Lonnie, and we're going to roll with Cole. Okay, obviously there's a lot of rejects in this map, so we want to have a character that can do melee damage, and also we're going to spend a lot of time in the Venom in this map, so that's where Lonnie comes into play. Her bleed damage of extra brawler damage, all of that in the Venom is really key. Keegan is huge because we're going to get some explosives in this map that's going to help us out. And then Cole's always nice, right? He's really good with his dash ability to mash down some of the enemies. So as you're progressing through this map, one of the keys is to walk. Don't run, because there are a lot of rejects and we don't want to spook them and make them invisible. When you come to this first section, you're either going to have some rejects out right there, or you're going to have some hunters and drones. If you have a hunter and drone spawn, you're going to be dealing with Marxes for the rest of the map, okay? If you have the reject spawn, then you're going to be dealing with snipers, and you can get a sniper rifle. Either way, when you come out, if it's the rejects, you actually just want to go to the right side. If it's the drones, you're going to have to go left and kind of clear it out a little bit before you can go to the first ammo room that I'm going to show you. So that's what we're doing here. We're just taking our time. We're trying to take out these rejects, and we're trying to take out any drones and hunters that are in the area. So you're going to see me make sure I get this ammo. If you're Lonnie, you know, when you're not in melee range, you're going to be firing from a distance, so be sure you grab that Marks of ammo, any hammer burst ammo that you can pick up. Ideally, if you get the sniper spawn, you can get the sniper as well. So here we go. We're just clearing out some of these enemies, and now we're actually going to go to the other side. So again, if you get the reject spawn in the beginning, you can go ahead and go to the right. We went left really because if you have the hunter spawn, they're going to follow you. So you're going to need to go over there and take them out and clear out that area a little bit. So now we're going to go around to the other side, and the reason we want to go this way is because the safe room that's over here is what we need and what we want to start with this map for Keegan, which is grenades and a boom shot. So we make our way over to the right hand side coming out of the initial spawn area, and again, you're either going to have some snipers to deal with here, or you're going to have hunters with Marxes and drones. So we have the hunter drone kind of spawn, which isn't bad. It's nice to have the Marks because you're going to get a lot more ammo than the sniper rifle is going to give you. So you know, pick your poison with that. Either spawn is not terribly different than the other, okay? But I'm just trying to give you the scenarios that you might see. But anyway, if we come over to this side, this safe room is the safe room that we want to get to, because in here again is going to have a frag grenade, and you're also going to have a boom shot for Keegan to pick up. So that's going to be key. So you can see him grabbing that grenade right there, and then Lonnie, I'm going to pick up all this ammo. Cole doesn't really need to be focused on the ammo. He's going to be mainly using his melee attacks and his charge attacks. So whoever's playing as Lonnie, you're the one that's going to be picking up the weapons and the ammo going forward, other than the explosive ammo, which obviously Keegan's going to pick up. So once we finish that, now we can actually make our way to the other side. This is actually where we were earlier, where we finished cleaning out those enemies in the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this ammo down here. But again, if you didn't clear out this side in the beginning like we did, you're going to come over here and you're going to probably have some rejects to deal with, but it's not bad. I did not want to pick up this Lancer here. I kept picking up and then I swapped to the wrong weapon. But anyway, the reason you don't want to pick up that Lancer, the chainsaw seems like a good idea for the rejects, but you'll see coming up, there's just too many rejects for it to be feasible. You chainsaw one, you're going to get stuck in that animation on master difficulty, and you're really not going to get out of that. Alright, so moving forward, we're going to clean up these rejects here, and we're going to hit this last ammo room up, and then we're going to get moving.
That Venom is right behind us.
And don't be afraid of the Venom. That's something that I usually say in these guides, right? Venom is not a bad thing. Don't think you need to rush in front of this Venom. A few of the maps that you play, staying in front of the Venom is a good thing. In this map, taking it slow and staying with the Venom is actually a good thing because we're going to improve the damage that we're going to be doing with Lonnie. So you want to get all that ammo before this area here. You're going to have either drones and hunters to deal with, and again, you're going to know that at the beginning of the map. If you have drones and hunters with Markza, that's what you're going to be dealing with for the rest of the map. If you have the snipers and like shotgun drones, then that's what you're going to be dealing with for the rest of the map. So you're really going to have one or two of those variations going forward. Here I am getting destroyed by a hunter, keeping it trashy as always. So anyway, but you're gonna have, you want to make sure you have at least some ammo before you head into this section here, because you're gonna have, 6 to 8 drones and hunters to deal with, and or snipers and drones. And this guy just magically learned how to teleport. Don't know if you saw that. That was pretty crazy. Didn't even notice that when we were actually playing through, man. He just teleported. So anyway, then you'll come to this area. You're going to have a room on the left and a room on the right that's going to have more explosive ammo, grenades. Really, this area is for Keegan. When you get to this area and you open these doors, a ton of rejects are going to come at you. And you can do one of two things. What we do is just let Keegan throw some of his grenades, because you have all these ammo boxes down here. And if you're running with your grenade pouch, you should have plenty of grenades. You can pick up all this ammo. And you can bring these rejects down into the safe room, and there's actually plenty of room to kind of run around that box that I'm down right here in front of me with the explosive ammo on top of it. You can actually just kind of, have them follow you almost like zombies in Call of Duty, right? Just train them around that and toss a grenade at them and down them all. So that's kind of what we were doing, as, you saw my point of view, but that's the best way. Group up all those rejects and just blow them up with a grenade and let Keegan's bleed ability kind of finish them off. The other strategy, if you don't want to waste your grenades, or maybe your ammo pouch isn't high enough, or you really want to conserve the grenades, you can actually lead them down, train them down there, and then run away and close the door. So that's another option. You can actually just lock all those rejects in one of the safe rooms. Nonetheless, we're on to the last area prior to the safe room. After you pass that safe room and those rejects, you're going to come to this area, which is going to have 2 scions. Okay, you can have mulchers, you can have cryos. The one thing I didn't really see is drop shots. Most of the time it was mulcher scions. You can also have a buzzkill, and then of course you're either going to have some hunters and drones in the back again with snipers. Just keep your high ground. There's really no need to rush here. Take your time. I think, what we did is these drones were kind of focused on me, and Cole ends up going in the back and just kind of meleeing him in the back as they're shooting us up. So, as long as you have somebody flanking that's not shooting your own team like I'm doing right there. I'm sitting there shooting hot shot. But, as long as you kind of stay back and have them focus on you, someone can flank them and take them out. And that's really a pretty easy area if you've picked up all that ammo. The key to the beginning of this map is to take your time, get all that ammo, and then before you head into the safe room, you can restock up on your ammo with Keegan. So if you're rolling with Keegan, make sure you have the card ability that gives you explosive ammo if you're in the Venom, right? As long as you're running that, you'll be able to replenish your boom shot. So with all that explosive ammo and his ability, feel free to fire a couple boom shots in this area of the map to help you clear out those enemies. So let's speed this up as we're kind of going through the safe room here, and once we get through this, we'll be in the second part of this map. Again, it is kind of a longer map, right? But the difficulty's not too bad. I mean, I shouldn't say that, I guess. I mean, in respect to the other Operation 3 maps, it's not too bad. There are some difficult parts, especially what we're about to come up to. As soon as you kind of exit this safe room, you are going to enter probably the hardest part of this map. Once you kind of get out through the initial part, you're going to kind of go up some stairs here. You will be charged by a ton of rejects, okay? And what makes this hard is that also bastions are going to come into play. So ideally, we actually triggered him here. Ideally, you can take out a few of these rejects in the beginning, okay? But I think someone sprinted, and we got to keep it real. But you can probably take out a few before you trigger them all. But once you trigger them, it's on, and a ton of rejects are coming. And what makes it difficult is that poison, right? You can't stand in that poison. It's going to kill you pretty quickly on Master. But there's also bastions. So you need to focus taking those Bastion downs, and then just keep falling back. Keep falling back, okay? Don't get caught up in an area that you can't retreat from, because that's how you're gonna get killed. You know, all these rejects are going to be invisible, right? And that's another thing. So you kind of sometimes have difficulty seeing how many there are, and also when they explode, that poison's going to force you to move. So what you really want to do is get them bunched up, take out the bastions, and now it's time for Keegan to shoot that boom shot and throw some grenades and clean them up. And you want to kind of just fall back, right? And you can see there, you know, Cole's obviously doing his thing. The bash ability from Cole is obviously critical. It's going to help you take out these enemies going forward. And as always, you know, we're not showing any exploits, okay? We're kind of showing these the way they're supposed to be played. So hopefully these guys will kind of stand the test of time. And, you know, going forward, if anybody needs help with these, they'll be able to find these videos and move forward. Now, the only thing that could change is, you know, they introduce a new character into the game, and maybe a character would be better for a particular map. But, you know, I'm not going to go back and redo this for those purposes. This setup right here should get you through it. Now, after you clear out this area, there's a few weapons that you want to get. The Breaker Mace, and there's also a Lancer GL. Okay, so Keegan definitely wants to grab that Lancer GL. Go ahead and grab a couple of flashbangs, and I believe there's also a frag around there too. So after you clear out those rejects, be sure you're checking around to get those weapons. And obviously you're going to give the Breaker Mace to Lonnie for that boosted melee damage. So moving into the next section, this is another area that you don't need to trigger these rejects here. In fact, if you don't trigger them, so, you know, Cole kind of ran up there and sprinted, but, you know, it's okay. You can actually take out a few of those if you want prior to triggering this room, and it will make it, you know, a little bit easier. You know, I was about to melee that reject, and then I got shot down by, I believe, a claw. I don't know. But once you come into this room, where you really want to go is actually where Keegan and Cole are, in this room to the left. You know, I was going to take out that reject, and it didn't work out too well. But this is the room that you want to kind of stay in. You're going to have some windows. I'm just kind of trying to survive right now and revive. But you're going to have some windows in front of you that you can take out some hunters. There's going to be some torque bow hunters back there, or there's going to be snipers. The snipers could also be back there. But nonetheless, if you just kind of stay back, take your time, and pick these guys off. If you run out there where they are, there's actually more enemies to the right, which I'll show you when we kind of clear these guys out a little bit. But if you run out there, you're going to be dealing with more enemies than the ones that we're dealing with here. So you can see the melee from Lonnie is critical. So after we've cleared out these enemies, now look over to the right. You see there's an elite hunter with a torque bow over there. So it's better to stay in that room that we were in and kind of clear out this outside area from there with, you know, ranged weaponry before you come out here and trigger those enemies to the right. And those torque bow hunters are going to be moving around. They won't just stay in there. They'll come out and they'll fight enemies and kind of run back, and they'll cause problems. But also, once you do clear out this room, there's another safe room in there that Keegan can go get more explosive ammo in. The torque bow, it's not really beneficial. You're not going to have enough ammo at this point. I think I had the hardest, if I remember, I had the hardest time killing this guy. Yeah. How did I not grab him? Someone explain to me how I didn't grab that guy right there. For the execution. I don't know, but I tried. So I went down. So my homeboys are actually in the rooms getting ammo. So if you look on the mini map, the one I showed you, and then obviously the room that we were just in, both of those have ammo rooms where mainly Keegan really wants to replenish his explosive ammo. Once you've done that, you're pretty much ready to move on.
Nice work, baby. That's all of them. Gotta reload! Got it. Oh! Grenade mark! Grabbing this! Not bad! Bone hominid!
Contact!
Got it!
Yeah, so be wary of these hunters here. We actually thought we had cleared everybody out, and there was still one kind of hiding back. We almost got wiped here. I remember this. It was such a close call. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, This hunter almost cleared all of us out. So again, take your time here. Okay, you've got a lot of rejects in here, and this is actually the final phase. Okay, and there's a lot of enemies at the top of the stairs, including some scions, a bunch of rejects, and a bunch of additional hunters. So take your time. You can not only go up these stairs here in front of us, but there's also stairwell to the right and to the left. Okay, obviously the bastion's up here. You got to take him out. We kind of got in trouble here because he lit me up, this mulcher, and I believe I went down here. So, you know, this is a tough moment. You want to be able to take out that bastion. I think honestly, right here, I was personally pushed up a little too far. It's better to stay back probably where my teammates are, and we probably would have been able to get more shots on that bastion and take it out, and then we wouldn't have really had to deal with that scion as much and have, you know, Keegan end up wasting one of our boom shots. But, you know, anyway, take your time. So, you know, again, the Venom's going to come up here. This map is all about taking your time. I can't say that enough, right? Let that Venom catch up to you. Let Lonnie's bleed come into play, and don't rush. So we're going to go up this stairwell. Now, pay attention, though. There is alternate paths. So if you're looking at these stairs actually to the left and to the right, there's another set of stairwells that can lead up to the same area. You can actually see it just to the right of my screen there. So you don't only have to be in this middle path. But where we are right now is a pretty decent spot to keep cover because there's a bunch of enemies that we need to deal with before we go to the final door. And we're going to have another Scion and another Bastion. Alright, so just take your time here. I believe I go in here trying to take out this Bastion and we realize, like, oh my gosh, there's a lot more enemies. And there's that GL. Ideally, if you take out that Bastion with the GL, you know, you're going to be in a much better position to kind of finish this area off. But we got a little, you know, a little tight here. Got a little bit hairy. With this Scion coming down and the Bastion still being alive. Anytime you see those Bastions, it's always critical to take them out as fast as possible. But, you know, at least really you're seeing how, you know, this can play out, right? This area can be difficult and it can also be very easy. You know, I was like, well, guys, I'm just going to make it a break for the door. Well, it turns out there's still some claws back here. And these claws can do damage very, very fast. So I think, you know, right here, see, boom, 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 down us both. Don't mess around with a claw. You know, we actually started rushing, right? I'm not even taking my own advice, so it's actually good to show you this. Slow down, take your time, take out these enemies, and then hit the door. So finally we're going to finish these off. We're going to go out to the exit here. We're going to hit this door, and we're pretty much in the clear. So we've got all that explosive ammo for Keegan now. I've also got this breaker mace. I don't even know if I use it. And we also got our flash grenades. So you shouldn't have too much difficulty if you get to this point and you take the path we showed you and you get all that ammo and the grenades and everything like that. You shouldn't have too much of a problem holding the door off. The most difficult parts are the area right before the door and also the area right after the safe room. Those are going to be the most challenging parts for you. And we got to give a big shout out to Malicious here. You know, me and Hotshot were like, oh man, we can't come get you. You're done, man. Sorry. And look at this. He got out of the door. He crawled out of the door. This is a great opportunity for Melee to, you know, for Lonnie to use her ultimate. I like to save it for this in here. I think this is the best place to use it because you're inevitably going to have some rejects get out of that door. And, you know, her ultimate can just clean them up pretty quickly. But big shout out to Malicious for not giving up and actually crawling out. He crawled at the smallest crack. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Again, that map's not too bad. Again, it's longer, but it's not too bad if you take your time. I hope you found it helpful, and hopefully I'll see you around.